Welcome back YouTube, KRoad17 here with a brand new F1 2019 career mode video. Today we are at Spain, and you guys know that I absolutely do not like this track. Probably not as much as Baku nowadays, but nevertheless we're going to dive right into qualifying and get this episode on its way.
Qualifying's about to kick off any moment here at the circuit Barcelona Catalunya. No doubt that today will be full of action on the track.
So, diving into Q1, I'm not expecting too much out of this race because I'm not very strong at this track, let's be honest. But here we are. I lock up the wheels a little bit, the front left, as I always do around that corner. I can't seem to ever really come to grips with that corner. And this sector right here, I'm terrible at it. I don't know what curves to stay away from. I don't know what curves to hit. I do mount that one a bit. Seems to be okay in this game. It was a little tougher in 2018. But here we are, we're going to cross the line. Definitely was not on the pace for that one. We ultimately finished P17, so that's us out of qualifying. And yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I expected, but here we are. Teammate gets himself into Q2 as we end up our run for qualifying in Q1 because I am so far down on the pace. But we have a long race ahead of us. Head down, let's get into it. On to the race, guys.
Good afternoon from a very familiar setting. It's race day here in Spain, and with everything still to play for in the championship battle, there's no room for mistakes in a Grand Prix that's well known for creating them. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. We should talk about Alfa Romeo. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Gasly, Bottas, Sebastian Vettel and Hamilton, Butler, Magnussen, Perez and Alexander Albon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Nico Hülkenberg and Faber, Raikkonen, Sainz, Rose and Lando Norris. Grosjean and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
After your podium last race, there's a lot of expectation in the team. Let's push for a points finish and see where we end up.
You couldn't have picked the worst track to have expectations for me, Jeff. I'm not that great at this track, but here we are setting up our race strategy. The mediums to the hard compounds seemed like it was the best. I was trying to play with a, go hards to softs at the end, but ultimately that didn't work out, so we stick with what we had. We're going to gear up for this race, waiting for those 5 red lights to go. Nice little, snapshot, we could see us all the way in the back. Here we are, lights are out, we're on our way, we're following our teammate. I get an absolutely horrendous start. Norris gets around me, as in Grosjean goes through, Russell goes through, so we're down to P20. Looking to follow, I see carbon fiber flying in the air, so somebody is tangled up with each other, and that might be a free position gain depending on how bad that wing is damaged. We might be able to get around it, but we're going to follow Russell here. Maybe look for a cheeky inside look, get around. There's Hülkenberg. Tap wheels with Hülkenberg. We're looking quite cheeky and pacey. Really losing the back end there. We're right next to Russell here. Russell's keeping the inside line very tight, so we're going to try to hold on the outside. We actually did start on the hard set of compounds, so we're going to be able to go further than most of these drivers. So we're going to look for an inside look on Russell. He's going to offer us the position. Will he? No, he actually backs off, so that is us up to P17. A long way to go. This is only lap 1. We have 33 laps to contend to with this race. 33 laps of absolute torture for myself because I absolutely hate Spain, as you guys will know. But We're not going to get into that again and again and again, but here we are, Hulkenberg right ahead of us. Raikkonen's right there battling Weber, our F2 teammate.
Let's focus now for the rest of the race.
We're going to try to focus. We do have Hulkenberg. Let's see if we can get a good run on him and maybe get a good... That was a very scary moment for myself. I thought I was going to chip some of my wing off. I had to brake really hard just to end up not running into his gearbox. But here we are. We're going to chuck it into overtake. Rich fuel mode. Let's see if we can get a run on Hulkenberg. Look at the speed he's carrying. Weber is looking like he's the one that's going to lose out in this situation. So I actually back off a little bit to see how these two play out. See if they, collect each other, hit each other's side pods. Those guys go really close. I get a lot of understeer from the dirty air on following. Weber actually tucks behind Hulkenberg, so we're going to try to stay with Weber. Try to really keep up with Kimi. That is my goal in this race because he has basically the same car as I do. I really had to brake hard to avoid Ricciardo there, and he's going to squeeze me very tightly through there. So Weber is going to squeeze me as well. These guys in the back are just so punchy. And I actually locked my wheels up with Ricciardo. I had to shake him off right there, as you guys can see. Weber is making his car as wide as possible so we cannot get ahead of him. We're going to try, but it's going to be quite difficult. We are going to have DRS, which I ultimately feel that this DRS zone is pretty much pointless. You can pull up to the back of somebody, but all they have to do is make their car wide enough. There's nowhere to go. I mean, you're going to have to back out. You guys don't want to go side by side into that turn. But here we are, lap 3. We have Weber in our sights. We do have DRS this time. We're going to have quite the pull on him. We chuck into overtake. We're going to go for the outside and sail right past him. So that is job done. That's us up to P15 on lap 4 of this Grand Prix. And there, I will have to say, give you a little spoiler, I knew that there was rain coming towards the end. I didn't know how much or how soon, but I knew that rain was coming in the end, and I wanted to make sure I kept these hard compound tires as fresh as possible. Lap 6, we do have Hulkenberg ahead of us now. Can we pull a toe on him like we did our old F2 teammate Weber? He goes for the inside to cover that off, so we're going to go on the outside just like we did with Weber. That is us up to P14. So the confidence in these tires is starting to come alive.
Good job, nice overtake.
These tires have a bit of a strange life to them. They come on and then they go off and they always come on again. So you really have to find that happy medium in between. Here we are, lap 14. We've got up to a lot of drivers, including our teammate Sands dives for the pit. That's going to leave Raikkonen pretty much out in nowheres, man. He's going to have DRS, but let's see if our car is set up a little bit better than his. We do get a solid run on him, but it looks like we're going to go almost side by side into here. He's going to keep to the inside line. We're going to have to hold the outside. He actually backs out, so that's us up to P7. Keep in mind, a lot of guys have pit so far. I believe they started on the soft compound or the medium compound by this point. I believe it was mostly a soft. Stroll, who had an absolute terrible Baku Grand Prix. No spoilers, go back and watch it.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
There is your confirmation, ladies and gentlemen. Rain is on its way, and I was trying to make sure these tires lasted right up until the point where we have to switch to inners. And here it is, just about ready to go, but I could not make them last, so I had to dive in for the pits. As we only had so many laps left, I was going to go for the soft compound. Try to maintain those tires to the end, hoping the rain wasn't too much to deal with, that we'd have to switch on to inners right before the end of the race. Right into our pit stop we go, and we're going to slap on the soft compound and try to run those to the end on our way out of the pits right now. As you guys can hear, a lot of cars are passing us when we're in the pits, so we do find ourselves quite down the order. There's our teammate though, and there's the Ferrari looking pretty punchy. Can we keep ahead of them? They actually go right past me, but we do hold on to that position compared to our teammates, so we do get out ahead of them through pit stop strategy. And now we have the Ferrari right ahead of us, so this is going to get quite dicey. We are on the quickest compound. As you guys will notice, that's quite a thing I do with my qualifying not being the best. I'll start on the harder compound and wait till the end and throw on the softest compound I can to try to maximize my pace towards the end of the race and gain anything I can out of the race. Here we are, lap 25 out of 33. The rain is just about here. We're going to try to get around Stroll as quick as possible. Get on the inside line. DRS is open. Overtake mode. Rich fuel mode.
You made it look easy.
Jeff's very happy with us. I'm pretty happy with that. We are up in the points. P9 better than I would suggest myself of doing in this race. But now we are here. The rain is here. Magnussen is ahead of us.
This is your final lap. Final lap of the race.
Final lap of the race. Magnussen is right there.
Gap to teammate behind is 9.3 seconds.
I don't care about my teammate right now. I have Magnussen, and believe it or not, Devon Butler of all people are ahead of me for P5, and I'm trying to make sure I get those points as I go a little bit wide and grab the apron of the track. But that's not too bad. I mean, you're able to hold onto the car. It's strange. The rain is falling, but you guys can see there's blue skies, so we didn't end up going to the inters, but I felt like these tires are really starting to die off. As you guys can see, the guys on the hard compound are having more of a difficulties because they can't keep
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
As I was saying, these guys on the hard compound are struggling a lot harder to keep the temperature in their tires as we're on the soft, so it's a lot easier. But we're going to have one final ditch effort. Can we send it? This, I will say, was very cheeky, and I make it for a late move on Devon Butler. We smacked side pods. Ultimately, I would never do that. I wouldn't, dare thinking about it, but it was Devon Butler. We do remember how Devon Butler likes to give us aggressive lines, so we decided, you know what? It's Devon Butler. Let's give him a bit of his own medicine and pull ourselves into P5 for the remainder of this race. Last few corners to go. We're going to cross the line eventually, have waved it, Devon Butler bye-bye, and P5 is ours for the taking.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Rose. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So driver of the day, double points for Alpha. It's a pretty strong race, I would have to say so myself. But going into next week, it's the Monaco Grand Prix, and that's going to be a tough race, but on to the interview.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
So the rain definitely helped, and I would say it didn't look like anybody had as much grip as us towards the end.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
I wouldn't say underestimated us, I would say underestimated team. When you have, that kind of team, we work together, we make magic happen.
Another close finish between you and Devon today. Does he keep you motivated?
No, not really, not as much as my team does.
Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today?
Well, to be honest, life wouldn't be as fun if it didn't test you every now and then.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Guys, this has been the Spain Grand Prix of Season 2. If you enjoyed this video, smack that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it so much. But until the next time, thank you so much for joining me on this race. I'm going to leave you off with the race highlights, and I'll catch you on the next video.